Hi, engineers. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no? So, depende kung kailan niyo mapapanood itong recorded lecture natin. So, this is the recorded lecture to catch up for plane trigonometry and differential calculus. So, medyo excuse me lang kasi medyo iba ata yung boses ko. So, but I will try my best to explain the problems and the concepts. So, start tayo. So, we have problem number one. So, the area of a triangle ABC is 26.83 square centimeters, and the product of its three sides is 504 cubic centimeters. How far from the vertex A is the point of intersection of the perpendicular bisectors of its sides? So, to approach this kind of problem, dapat makagawa tayo ng figure para mas ma-visualize natin kung ano ba yung dapat nating kunin sa problem. So, let's say ito yung figure, then i-explain ko na lang. So, you have your triangle ABC, no? Then may sinasabi rin na perpendicular bisectors. So, ano ba yung perpendicular bisectors? So, ito yung line na naghahati sa side ng triangle mo. But sa paghati ng side ng triangle, it must be 90 degrees. So, hatiin natin yung side B mo. So, you have your B over 2, then B over 2. Same concept lang din sa side A. Hati ka dyan. So, you have your A over 2, then A over 2. Ganun din sa side C mo. Gawa ka ng perpendicular bisector. So, you have your C over 2, then C over 2. Since you have three perpendicular bisectors, meron yan point of intersection. So ano ba yan? So the center of the circumscribed circle rather called circumcenter. So yung point of intersection na yan yung tinatawag na circumcenter. So it is the point of intersection of the perpendicular bisectors of the triangle. Okay. So yan yung circumcenter. Therefore, meron kang circumscribed circle. Okay? So, ano ba yung hinahanap, no? From vertex A to the point of intersection. So, based on the figure, you have your distance R. So, yan din pala yung radius ng circumscribed circle mo. Same concept lang din sa ibang vertex. Let's say vertex B and vertex C. To the point of intersection, you have your distance R, distance R. So, paano ba natin makukuha yung distance R na yan or yung radius ng circumscribed circle mo? So, again, consider your side B, consider your side C, then your angle here. So, sa pagkuha ng area ng triangle, considering two sides and one included angle. So, ito yung magiging solution. So you have your area of triangle is equal to the 1/2 of side B, side C, and sine of your included angle. So based on the theorem din sa plane trigon natin, kapag ito angle theta mo, ito naman is twice of your angle theta. So ito yun, no? Theta yan. So, kung di ako nagkakamali, yan yung tinatawag na inscribed angle theorem, no? And then, since meron kang angle dito, angle theta din yan, angle theta din yan, consider natin itong right triangle na to. So, kunin natin yung sin theta, no? So, you have your sin theta is equal to the opposite, a over 2, over your hypotenuse r, no? Then, ito yun, sine angle is equal to a over 2 over r. Then, isa-substitute natin to sa una nating formula. So, we have A is equal to 1/2 BC times your A over 2R. So, rearranging the formula, ito yung magiging formula, finalize or final formula natin. So we have A is equal to the ABC over 4R. So, ito yung formula natin kapag ang hinahanap is the radius of your circumscribed circle considering the area of triangle. So, given yung area ng triangle, we have 26.83 square centimeters is equal to the sakto, no? Product of its three sides. So, ABC yun. Meron tayong 504 cubic centimeters over 4R. So, makuha na natin yung radius equal to 4.6962 centimeters. Okay? So, yan yung concept behind the problem. So, next tayo. We have problem number 2. So, the area of a triangle ABC is 65 square centimeters and its perimeter is 48 centimeters. So, compute the radius of the ascribed circle tangent to the longest side of the triangle. So, the sum of the two sides is 30 centimeters and the difference of the two sides is 15 centimeters. So, based on the given problem, may tinatawag dyan ascribed circle. So, ano ba yung ascribed circle? So, ito yung magiging figure natin. So, let's say, ito yung ascribed circle mo. So, ang ascribed circle is nakatangent dun sa triangle. Okay? And as you can see, two sides of your triangle, let's say your side B and side C, project natin, nakatangent din siya sa circle. And then, let's say assume natin na yung side A mo, yan yung side na nakatangent sa circle. So we can also safely assume that this side A is the longest side. Pero mache-check din natin mamaya kung talaga bang longest side yung side A. So you have your radius R, radius R, then radius R. So paano ba natin makukuha, no, yung radius ng ascribed circle? So ito yung magiging solution. So consider this right triangle or let's say triangle lang, no? Triangle lang. Etong triangle na to. Yan, considering side B, no? So sa pagkuha ng triangle na yan, again, you have your base B, then the projection lang, meron kang altitude, no, na tinatawag or perpendicular height. So considering the base and your perpendicular height, the area of this triangle is equal to the 1/2 BR. Okay? Then how about considering your side C? Ganon din, no? Itong triangle na to. Okay? Susundan niyo yung arrow or yung cursor. Ito yun. Side C. Then, ito yung triangle niya. So, sa pagkuha ng area ng triangle, you have your base C, then projection lang, then you have your perpendicular height na radius. Therefore, we have 1/2 CR. So, kapag pinag-combine natin itong dalawang area na to, yung 1/2 BR, then 1/2 CR, di ba parallelogram yun? Mabubuo nun. Okay? Pero syempre, ang kailangan lang natin makuha, yung area ng triangle. So, kailangan natin ibawas itong triangle na to. No? So, considering your side A, you have your base A, then you have, again, your perpendicular height na R. So, again, minus 1/2 AR. So, 1/2 BR, again, ulitin ko lang, 1/2 BR plus 1/2 CR minus 1/2 AR. So, matitira dyan, ito yon. Tama? So, okay, simplifying the equation, So we can factor out the 1/2 and your r since yun yung common in each term. So we have area of the triangle is equal to the 1/2 r times b plus c minus a. So, para lang ma-simplify lang natin yung equation, yung b plus c na 'to, kunin natin sa semi-perimeter na formula. So, we have S is equal to A plus B plus C over 2. Then, rearranging lang natin. So, we have, transpose natin itong 2, right? Sorry, cross multiply rather. So, 2S. Then, yung A, transpose natin to the left side of your equation. So, you have your 2S minus A is equal to B plus C. Then, yung B plus C na yan, palitan natin ng 2S minus A. So, we have 1/2 R times the quantity 2S minus A minus A. Then, combine like terms lang. So, we have 1/2 R times the quantity 2S minus 2A. So, sa quantity na to, we can factor out the 2 since yung 2 na yon madidivide din sa 2, so maka-cancel out lang din. Therefore, the area, considering your S-scribe circle is equal to the R times your S minus A. So, yung A na to, area ng triangle, yung R na to, radius ng S-scribe circle, then yung S na to is the semi-perimeter. Then yung A na to, yan yung side wherein nakatangent yung circle mo. So, based on this orientation, ang nakalagay is letter A. So, pwede rin maging letter B yan, letter C, as long as itong term na to, yan yung side na kung saan nakatangent yung circle. Okay? So, based on the given problem, given yung area ng triangle na 65, then yung S, which is semi-perimeter, makuha din natin dito. So, perimeter is 48, i-divide 2 lang natin. Pero, we have two unknowns, no? Yung R, na radius ng S-scribe circle, yan yung hinahanap. Pero itong A, hindi rin natin alam kasi walang given na value. Pero, merong binigay na condition. So, the sum of the two sides is 30 cm and the difference of the two sides is 15 centimeters. So, let's say, consider natin yung A plus B, no? A plus B is equal to 30. Then yan, the sum of the two sides is 30. Then, in the second equation naman, you have your A minus B is equal to 15. So, ipag-add lang natin ito yung equation na to, maka-cancel yung isang variable. So, we have 2A, from A plus A, we have 2A is equal to 30 plus 15, we have 45. So, makuha natin yung letter A dyan, equal to 22.5 centimeters. Okay? So, kunin na lang natin lahat ng values ng mga side ng triangle. To confirm lang na yung letter A mo is the longest side of the triangle at kung saan nakatangent yung S-scribe circle mo. So, you have the value of A. Then, we can substitute the value of A either of the two equations, no? Para makuha si letter B. So, kunin ko na lang yung equation number 1. So, we have 22.5 plus B is equal to 30. Then, makuha natin si letter B na 7.5 centimeters. Then, para makuha din yung isang side na letter C, meron tayong given na perimeter. So, 48 centimeters is equal to A plus B plus C. So, substituting the values of A and B, we have the value of C equal to 18 centimeters. So, tama lang na yung letter A or yung side A is the longest side at kung saan nakatangent yung S-scribe circle. So, balik tayo sa formula na to. Substitute natin lahat ng values. So, we have the area of triangle is equal to 65, then equal to the R, yun yung hinahanap, times the quantity of S, yan yung semi-perimeter, which is 48 over 2, minus your side A, 22.5. Then your radius is equal to 43.3333 centimeters. Okay? So, I hope na-gets niyo yung concept in trigo, no? Considering your ascribed circle and the circumscribed circle. Okay? So, okay. Start naman tayo sa next topic natin, which is differential calculus. So, this time, I will provide problems starting from the basic concepts, yun yung mga evaluation of limits, up to the application of differential calculus. So, problem number 1. So, evaluate the limit of the given function, which is x squared minus 1 over x minus 1 as x approaches 1. Okay? So, mostly, ang magiging first approach natin dito is sinasubstitute natin yung given na value of x, which is x equals to 1. So, ito yung magiging solution natin. So, we have here, substitute natin yung 1 to the given function. So, we have 1 squared minus 1 over 1 minus 1 is equal to 0 over 0. So, itong number na to, ito yung tinatawag na indeterminate, no? So, ang mga katulad niyan ng mga indeterminate, for example, 0 over 0, o di kaya is, palit ako ng kulay, no? So, pwede ring infinity over infinity, okay? So, kapag naka-encounter tayo ng ganyang number, mga indeterminate, so we will use L'Hopital's rule. So, ano ba yung concept behind L'Hopital's rule, no? So, ito yung sinasabi. So, the limit of the given function, f of x, over g of x as x approaches to a, ay equal daw sa limit ng f prime of x over g prime of x as x approaches a. So, ano bang ibig sabihin nun? So, kukunin lang natin yung first derivative ng numerator. Then, kukunin lang din natin yung first derivative ng denominator. Then, saka natin i-evaluate or i-substitute yung given na x or para ma-evaluate yung limit. So, for example, so what is the first derivative of x squared minus 1? So, using the power rule, no? So, we have here, ito muna. So, syempre, ibababa natin yan dito sa katabi ng x. So, we have 2x. Then, kapag nagpa-power rule tayo sa differential calculus, magbabawas tayo ng exponent. So, let's say, yung exponent mo is 2 minus 1. So, magiging ano yan? So, 2x raised to 1 or simply 2x, right? And then, ito naman, itong pangalawang term naman, so, the derivative of any constant is equal to 0. So, maka-cancel out na yan. So, ang matitira na lang do sa numerator mo is your 2x. Okay? Then, how about the denominator? So, the first derivative of your denominator, let's say your x muna. So, power rule muna, no? So, let's say x raised to 1. So, kapag ginawa natin ng first derivative, so yung 1 mo, lilipat lang sa katabi. So, you have your 1x. Then, yung exponent mo is 1 minus 1. So, 1x raised to 0. So, any number or any variable raised to 0 is equal to 1, okay? So 1 times 1 is also equal to 1. So gano'n din dito, constant na nitong -1 mo, so magiging 0 na rin 'yan. So matitira na lang for the denominator is 1. Then we will evaluate the limit, 'no? Substitute natin yung given value ng x. So we have 2 times 1 over 1, so is equal to 2. Okay? So, ganyan yung first approach mostly sa pag-evaluate ng limit. So, meron pa tayong mga alternative solutions, no? Pero case-to-case basis. So, we will check if the given function is factorable. So, pag sinabing factorable, baka pwede nating maiba yung form, no? So, let's say, ito pa rin yung given function mo. So, the limit of the x squared minus 1 over x minus 1 as x approaches to 1. So, as you can see, yung numerator natin, pwede nating gawing ganito, no? So, the application of sum and difference of two binomials. So, we have x minus 1 times x plus 1 over x minus 1. So, since merong x minus 1 sa numerator mo, meron ding x minus 1 sa denominator, so we can cancel it out. Okay? So, matitira na lang is x plus 1. Then, we will evaluate the limit. No? Substitute natin ulit yung given value of x. So, we have 1 plus 1 is also equal to 2. Okay? So, same lang din yung answer, no? So, meron tayong iba't ibang alternative solution. Actually, meron pa, no? Meron pa akong i-introduce na isa. So, ito yon. Okay? So, alternate solution natin na isa pa. So, ita-test natin yung left side and right side limits. So, ano ba yun, sir, no? Ano ba yung left side and right side limit? Let's say, ito yung number line mo. Sabi kasi sa problem, as x approaches to 1. So actually, hindi talaga, ang ibig sabihin lang kasi sa limit, hindi talaga x equals to 1, no? Eto, kung mapapansin nyo, as x approaches to 1. So ibig sabihin, let's say ito yung 1 mo, kapag left side limit, so papunta sa 1, approaches to 1, then sa right side limit mo, approaches to 1. Okay? So ano ba yung number ang pinakamalapit sa left side ng 1? So we will use that number. Same lang din sa right side, ano bang number ang pinakamalapit sa right side ng 1? So sa left side ng 1, we will have to we will use 0.9999. Then sa right side, we will use 1.0001. So depende sa inyo, no, kung gaano kadaming number, no, 0.999999 or 1.000001, no? So nasa sa inyo 'yon. Parehas lang din naman yung sagot, no? Then we will use these values to substitute to the given function. So let's say yung right side limit muna na 1.0001 square minus 1 over 1.0001 minus 1. So kapag in-evaluate natin to, we will have 2.0001 or approximately equal to 2. Okay? So test din natin yung left side, no? So we have 0.9999 then square minus 1 over 0.9999 minus 1 is equal to 1.9999 or approximately equal to 2. Okay? So since the limits are equal, the limit of the given function is equal to 2. Okay? So sir, paano naman kung magkaiba yung lumabas? Let's say yung right side limit mo naging, let's say, positive 30,000. Kunwari lang, no? Then yung left side limit mo naging negative 30,000. Kasi not all the time hindi mag-i-equal yung limits mo, 'no? Depende rin sa given function. So, let's say yung sa right side limit mo nakakuha ka ng positive 30,000, then sa left side limit mo naging negative 30,000. So, sobrang layo ng difference. Therefore, the limit does not exist. Okay? Yun yung rule, no? Kapag sobrang layo ng difference between using right side limit and left side limit, the limit does not exist. Okay? So, problem number 2. So, if y is equal to cosine of x, find the 143rd derivative of y. Okay, so 143rd derivative. Siguro, di naman tayo, ah, di na natin papahirapan yung sarili natin na kukunin talaga natin isa-isa yung derivative ng y is equal to cosine of x hanggang sa umabot tayo ng 143rd derivative. So, gagawan tayo ng paraan, baka may makita tayong pattern or something. So, it involves trigo function na, no? Pagdating sa derivative. So, ito yung magiging approach or solution natin. Okay? So, let's say what is the first derivative of cosine of x? So, we have negative sine of x. Okay? Palitan ko lang yung kulay ulit. So, we have negative sine of x. No? Then, kapag kinuha pa natin yung second derivative, so magiging negative cosine of x. No? Then, kapag the third derivative naman, magiging sine of x. Then, ang fourth derivative, magiging cosine of x. So, mapapansin nyo, after differentiating cosine of x 4 times, the answer will return to cosine of x. Okay? So, parang ang mangyayari, y is equal to the fourth derivative of y. No? Babalik lang din siya sa cosine of x. So, we will check kung yung 143rd is divisible ba by 4. Sir, bakit ganon? I-divide natin ng 4. Kasi ito yung magiging approach sa checking natin. Let's say, first derivative out of fourth derivative, let's say 0.25. Then, the second derivative out of 4, we have 0.50. Then, third derivative over 4, 0.75. Then, fourth derivative, syempre out of 4 is equal to 1. So, bakit over 4, no? Kasi, after 4 times, doon bumalik yung cosine of x. So, we will check kung yung 143 is divisible ba by 4. But since hindi, no, nakakuha tayo ng 35.75, i-check natin ngayon kung ano yung decimal, parang decimal number niya, no? So, we have 0.75. Then, i-check natin dito kung ano ba yung 0.75. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung 0.75 nag-occur dun sa third derivative, no? So, therefore, yung third derivative is also equal to the 143rd derivative. Okay. So, therefore, yung 143rd derivative ng y is equal to cosine of x is also equal to sine of x. Okay? So, as long as may pattern, we will check that pattern, no? Para mas mapabilis yung pagsosolve natin. Okay? Problem number 3. So, find the slope of the curve y is equal to x cubed plus 3x plus 14 where the curve crosses the x-axis. Okay? So, how do we approach this kind of problem, no? Pero, syempre, since may given function tayo, mostly, kailangan talaga nating i-graph yan. Pero since time-bounded tayo, wag na natin i-graph kasi baka maubusan tayo ng oras. So, gagamitin na lang natin yung mga concept behind that problem. Okay? So kung papansin nyo, yung given function is cubic, no? Kasi naka-raise to 3. So ibig sabihin, that function has 3 roots, no? Tatlo yung values of x. So kailangan malaman natin yun para makuha natin yung value ng x na given function. So meron dito where the curve crosses the x-axis. So imagine niyo yung graph nyo dumaan sa x-axis. Ang tanong, may value ba ang x doon? Siyempre meron, kasi dumaan nga sa x-axis. Pero ang tanong, yung y ba, may value ba ng y sa x-axis? Siyempre, wala, no? Therefore, ito yung magiging approach natin. So, at the x-axis, y is equal to 0. Therefore, yung given function natin na x cubed plus 3x plus 14 na para malaman natin yung values of x ay i-equate natin to 0. So, paano ba natin makukuha yung mga roots, no? Tinatawag pagdating ng x cubed plus 3x plus 14. So, di siya tulad ng quadratic na may formula, pero you can use your calculators, no? So, nandun yun, nakalagay sa mode something something. So, check nyo na lang sa calcu nyo. Then, makakakuha kayo ng -2. So, 1 plus 2.4495i. Then, 1 minus 2.4495i. But since hindi natin kinoconsider rather yung mga imaginary roots, therefore, we will cancel this, no? Cancel natin yan. Kung gagamitin natin, yung value is x, gagamitin natin value is x is equal to -2. Okay? So, yan yung concept ng the curve crosses the x-axis. So, balik tayo sa problem. Ano ba yung hinahanap? Find the slope. So, recall lang, ano bang ibig sabihin ng slope, no? So, slope is equal to m, no? Mostly yun ang ginagamit na variable for slope. Then yung m natin is rise over run, no? Okay. Then, mostly kapag rise, syempre along vertical yun. Then kapag run, along horizontal. So kapag kunyari, kino-consider mo yung 2 points, no? So we have the change in y, change in y over change in x. So pagdating sa differential calculus, magiging dy over dx. So ano ba yung dy over dx? So yan din yung first derivative ng function mo. So kailangan natin makuha yung first derivative ng given function. So we have the slope is equal to the first derivative, also equal to dy over dx. So power rule lang, no? So from x cubed, magiging 3x squared. Then yung 3x, magiging 3. Okay? Pero yung positive 14, syempre, again, the derivative of any constant is equal to 0. So cancel na yan. So we have 3x squared plus 3. Then we will substitute the value of -2 base do sa naging roots ng given function. So we have 3 times the quantity -2 square plus 3. So the slope of the given function or the given curve is equal to 15. Okay? Okay. So before we solve another problem, i-explain ko muna kung ano yung concept ng maxima and minima. Okay? So let's say we have a given function, no? Y is equal to f of x. Let's say ito yung graph niya, no? Then, meron tayong tinatawag na mga critical points. So, ano ba yung critical points? Dun tayo na dun natin makikita yung maxima and minima. Let's say, yung maxima, yun yung highest value, no? Let's say, yung highest value sa graph mo, let's say ito, kapag gagawa ka ng tangent line dyan, ano bang slope ng tangent line sa maxima? So, mapapansin nyo, we have the slope is equal to 0 or horizontal. Okay? Then, same concept lang din sa minima. Kapag minima naman, yun naman yung lowest value sa graph, no? Gawa ka ng tangent line dyan. Then, yung slope doon is also equal to 0. Therefore, the slope in your maxima and the minima, which is equal to the first derivative of your given function, is equal to 0. So, yan yung tinatawag na mga critical points. Okay? Then, number 2, rate of change of slope is equal to the second derivative. So, ang ibig sabihin lang yan, yung slope mo, kukunin natin yung first derivative ng slope. Since yung slope na yun is first derivative na ng function, then i-derivative mo pa, so magiging second derivative of the function. So, if the curve is concave upward, no? Kaya concave upward, ito yun, no? Concave upward, syempre, dun malolocate yung minima. So, at this case, the second derivative is greater than 0. Okay? While kapag the curve is concave downward naman, let's say ito, concave downward, then, consider natin yung maxima. So, at that case, the second derivative is less than 0. Okay? Then, the number 3, we have the point of inflection. So, ano ba yung point of inflection? A point at which the curve changes its rotation from concave upward to concave downward or vice versa. So, as you can see, gawa lang ako ng ibang kulay, no? Let's see, blue. So, ito yung function mo, pa-concave downward, no? And at this point, magiging concave upward na siya. Then at this point, magsisimula na rin yung concave downward. Okay? So these points, no, yan yung tinatawag na point of inflection. So at this point, the second derivative is equal to 0. Okay? So gagamitin natin yung concept na yan sa pag-solve ng problem. Problem number 4. So suppose that X years after founding in 1975, a certain employee association had a membership of f of x is equal to 100 times the quantity 2x cubed minus 45x squared plus 264x. At what time between 1975 and 1989 was the membership smallest? Okay? So, tip lang, no, sa pag-solve ng mga application, especially pagdating sa maxima and minima, meron tayong tinatawag na superlative clues. Kasi ano ba yung superlative clues? Kung mapapansin nyo sa problem, may makikita kayong superlative word, no? So, ano example nun? Ito. So, pag nakita ko na smallest, largest, no? So, assume nyo na yun na involve ang concept ng maxima and minima. So, maging first assumption natin dito, kapag sinabing smallest o smallest value, hindi for sure, baka minima yon, no? So, check natin, okay? So, ito yung magiging first approach natin on how to solve this kind of problem. Okay? So, isolate muna natin yung given function. So, we have the f of x is equal to 100 times the quantity 2x cubed minus 45x squared plus 264x. Since nalaman natin na involved yung maxima and minima, so critical points yun. So we need to get the first derivative of your given function. Okay? So the f prime of x, or the first derivative of your given function, is equal to the 100. So yung 100, kahit i-separate nyo lang, no? Hindi naman na siya maapektuhan. Ang kailangan lang natin makuhang first derivative is yung may value of, or may variable na x. So using power rule, no? So yung 2x cubed magiging 6x squared, yung negative 45x squared magiging negative 90x, then yung 264x magiging 264. And then, based sa concept ng critical points, your slope for the first derivative must be equate to 0. Okay? Since you have your quadratic equation, no? So you can use the formula. So ano bang formula ng quadratic? So recall lang natin. So we have x is equal to the negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay? So ito yung a mo, yung b, ito naman yung c. Pero you can use the calculator technique, no? Na lagi nating ginagawa sa CalQ para mas mabilis. So makakakuha ka ng x equals to 11, then x is equal to 4. So you have two positive roots, no? Then we will check, no, using the substitution of these given values of roots. So to calculate the number of membership, so let's say we will use x is equal to 11. So f of 11 is equal to 100 times the quantity 2 times 11 cubed minus 45 times the quantity 11 squared plus 264 times 11. So, evaluate natin yan, we will get 12,100. Okay? So, yung f of 4, let's say x equals to 4, we have 100 times the quantity 2 times 4 cubed minus 45 times 4 squared plus 264 times 4. We will get 46,400. So, ano ba yung value of x? Yan yung years, no? Years, sabi dito, years after founding in 1975. So, let's say after 11 years from referencing 1975, ang membership mo lang is 12,100. Then, kapag f of 4, after 4 years, you have 46,400. So, since ang hinahanap is smallest, so, ano bang mas maliit? 12,100 or 46,400? Siyempre, yung 12,100. Therefore, the membership is smallest 11 years after 1975. So, 1975 plus 11 is equal to 1986. So, at 1986, ang membership mo is 12,100. Yun yung smallest, no? Kasi critical points yan. Then, kapag largest naman yung tinatanong, edi, ang gagamitin natin yung 4, which is 46,400 naman yung membership. So, let's say kapag largest yung hinahanap, so 1975 plus 4 is equal to 1979 kapag largest, no? Pero kapag smallest naman, so we have plus 11 equal to 1986. So meron din tayong alternative or alternate solution dito. So using principle of rate of change of slope. So ang concept behind that is kukunin natin yung second derivative naman. So, since meron na tayong first derivative, so kunin lang natin yung second derivative. So, itong 12x galing sa 6x square, no? So, then, yung 90, yung negative 90, galing naman sa negative 90x. Then, yung 264, wala na yan kasi derivative of a constant is equal to 0. At since may nakuha na rin tayong roots or values of x based on the quadratic equation kanina, so if x equals to 11, then substitute lang natin sa second derivative. So we have 100 times the quantity 12 times 11 minus 90, meron tayong 4,200. Same with, oh sorry, rather. If x equals to 4, ito no, dito 14. So 4 yan. Wait lang, change ko lang ah, yung color, no? Mhm. So dapat gawin nating red yan. So dito 14. Ito error. So if x equals to 4, okay? So substitute natin sa second derivative. So we have 100 times 12 times 4 minus 90. We have negative 4,200. Since ito yung nakuha nating second derivative, ito naman yung second derivative din. So if your second derivative is greater than 0, so we have minima. Then kapag your second derivative is less than 0, we will consider maxima. So since hinahanap is smallest, then minimum membership, so we will use x equals 11. Then punta tayo ulit, so 1975 plus 11, we have 1986. Okay? Problem number 5. A cardboard box manufacturer wishes to make boxes from rectangular pieces of cardboard 30 centimeters by 40 centimeters by cutting squares from 4 corners. So find the largest volume contained by each box. So again, it is an example ulit ng application of maxima and minima. At kung mapapansin nyo sa problem, merong superlative clues ulit. Ito yung find the largest. So, mostly maxima and minima yan to optimize, no? Optimization problem. So, initially, wala talagang given problem yan. Sorry, wala talagang given na figure. So, dapat medyo matuto tayong mag-imagine kung ano ba yung magiging figure nito. Pero since ibibigay ko na lang yung figure, ganito siya. So, initially, merong 30 centimeters by 40 centimeters. So, yun yung magiging reference dimension ng cardboard mo bago daw ikakat. Okay? So, kailangan daw ikat ng square from 4 corners. So, cut tayo ng square from 4 corners. So, gawin ko lang red muna, no? So, ito, your first square, then second square, then third square, then fourth square. Okay? So, kapag nag-cut ka dyan, syempre, let x be the side of your square. So, ang magiging new dimension mo kapag nag-cut ka ng square, so let's say ito, 30. Ito yung 30 mo. Yan, 30 mo yan. Minus dalawang x. So, dalawang x. Magiging ito, natira, 30 minus 2x. Ito naman, 40, no? Then, bawasan mo ulit ng dalawang x. So, magiging 40 minus 2x. So, paano ba magkakaroon ng volume yan para magiging box? So, parang ganito yan, no? Imagine nyo. So, let's say ganito yan. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So, kapag nag-cut ka kasi ng square diyan, then itutupi, parang iaangat mo or yung pagtupi, 'no? So, ito yung magiging x mo, yun yung magiging height, 'no, para maging box 'yan. Then ito naman ang 40 minus 2x, ito naman ay 30 minus 2x. Ito yung magiging base mo, 'no, yung 30 minus 2x, then kapag inangat mo na yung height, so magkakaroon ka na ng x. So, I hope na-imagine niyo, 'no? Okay, so ito yung magiging solution niyan. So, ano bang volume ng rectangular box? So, parang aquarium 'yan. So, we have length times width times height. Okay? So, yan yung volume ng box nyo. So, since ang length ng box nyo is 30 minus 2x, then, sorry, pwedeng baliktad, no? So, multiplication naman yan. So, ang length mo is 40 minus 2x, then yung width mo is 30 minus 2x, then yung height mo is x. So, lahat ng dimension mo naka in terms of x. Then, i-simplify lang natin. So, we have 30 times 40 times x. So, we have 1,200x. Then, outside naman. So, we have 30 times negative 2x. We have negative 60x. Times x. So, we have negative 60x squared. Inside naman. So, negative 2x times 40. So, we have negative 80x times x. So, we have negative 80x squared. Then last term, we have negative 2x times negative 2x. So, we have positive 4x squared times x. So, we have positive 4x cubed. So, combine like terms lang. Ito, combine lang natin to. So, we have 1,200x minus 140x squared plus 4x cubed equal to your volume. Since again, using the concept of maxima and minima, so kailangan lang natin makuha yung first derivative. So, change in volume with respect to x, your dv over dx. So, ito, yung 1, 2 mo, galing dito. Then, yung negative 280x mo, galing naman siya dito. Then, yung 12x square mo, galing naman siya dito. Yung first derivative. Then, equate to 0. So, you have quadratic equation. So, again, you can use the calculator technique or you can use the quadratic formula. So, makakakuha ka ng 1x mo is 17.6759 centimeters. Then, yung second x mo or second value of x will be 5.6574 centimeters. So, you have positive values of x. So, possible na applicable itong values na to. Pero let's check din, no? Kung talaga bang applicable. So, bakit ito may ano na, canceled na, no? Kasi yung 17.67 mo na centimeters, try mo i-substitute dito. Okay? Para ma-check lang kung applicable pa rin yung magiging dimension. So, let's say 30 minus 2 times yung x mo na, let's say 17.6759. So, ito pa lang na terms, negative 2 times 17 is 34, no? So, 30 minus 34, so negative na yung dimension mo. Eh, wala namang negative dimension. That's why, ito, cash out na. Okay? So, hindi na natin gagamitin yan. Eh, how about the 5.6574? So, check din natin. So, 30 minus 2 times 5. So, negative 2 times 5 is equal to 10. So, 30 minus 10. So, positive 20 pa, no? So, pwede. Pwede itong 5.6574 centimeters. So, yun yung gagamitin natin to get the maximum volume or largest volume. So, balik tayo sa equation ng volume mo. Then we will substitute the value of x, which is equal to 5.6574. So we have 1,200 times your x minus 140 times your x, then square, plus 4 times your x raised to cube. So makakuha ka ng 3,032.3025 cubic centimeters. So that will be our largest volume contained by each box. Okay? Number 6. Water flows at the rate of 10 cubic feet per minute into a vertical cylindrical tank. The water surface in the tank is rising at the rate of 4 inches per minute. Find the radius of the tank. So, tapos na tayo sa optimization, no? Yung maxima and minima. Pero, medyo same concept pa rin, pero mag-i-include na tayo ng tinatawag na time rates. Okay? So, i-include na natin yung concept ng time, no? So, let's say, ito yung cylindrical tank mo, no? You have your cylindrical tank, then radius r, then let's say a specific height, no? So, syempre, ah, habang naglalagay ka ng tubig sa cylindrical tank mo, syempre tumataas yung height mo, right? Then at the same time, kapag nagdaragdag ka ng tubig, nagche-change or nadadagdagan din yung volume ng cylindrical mo. So ang tip lang dito sa pag-solve ng time rate problem is that you must check the dimensions kapag with respect to time, nagbabago ba yung dimension na yun. So for example, kapag ba nagdadagdag tayo ng tubig sa cylindrical tank mo, yung height ba nagbabago? Yes, no? Therefore, your height, ah, pwede natin siyang i-differentiate with respect to time. So how about the volume, no? Kapag ba nagdadagdag tayo ng tubig, magbabago ba yung volume mo in time? Yes, kasi nag-i-increase din yung height mo, therefore nag-i-increase din yung volume mo. Therefore, we can differentiate the volume with respect to time. Okay? So, based on the given then, yung dV over dt mo, yung change in volume with respect to time, yan yung 10 cubic feet per minute. Then, yung dH over dt naman, or change in height with respect to time, yan naman yung 4 inches per minute. Pero ang tanong, yung radius ba nagbabago kapag nagdaragdag tayo ng tubig? Hindi. Therefore, we cannot differentiate the radius with respect to time. Kasi, all throughout, cylinder pa rin yung tangke mo. Kunyari, habang nag-i-increase yung height, eto, still, yung radius mo is ganyan pa din. At kapag nandito na yung height mo, yung tubig, yung radius mo, ganun pa din, no? Kapag dito naman yung height mo ng tubig, yung radius mo, ganun pa din. So, we cannot differentiate radius with respect to time since hindi naman nagbabago yung radius mo, no? So, ganun yun. I-check natin yung mga dimension na nagbabago with respect to time. So, paano na, meron kasing ibang problem na, let's say, irregular yung tangke, no? Or irregular yung shape. For example, ganito, no? Let's say, ganyan. Okay. Kunyari, ganyan yung lalagyan mo. Tapos maglalagay ka ng tubig. So, kunyari ito, dito, iba yung radius mo. Dito, iba naman yung radius mo. Dito, iba naman yung radius. So, we can differentiate the radius with respect to time kapag ganito yung shape mo. But since all throughout, consistent lang yung radius mo, so hindi natin pwede i-differentiate yung radius with respect to time. So, ibig sabihin, walang dr over dt. Parang ganun, no? Ganun yung technique sa pag-solve ng time rates. Okay? So, ano bang hinahanap? Find the radius of the tank. Okay. So, dapat, ang goal lang natin, so same concept lang sa maxima and minima, no? Dapat ang goal natin, magkaroon muna tayo ng equation then saka natin ifa-first derivative or di-differentiate, then saka tayo makakuha ng mga values. Gano'n lang lagi 'no, equation, differentiate, values. Okay. So ano bang magiging equation natin dito? Since you have your volume, then yung tangke mo is cylindrical, therefore volume ng cylinder. So ano bang volume ng cylinder? So ito 'yon. So we have the volume of the cylinder is equal to pi r squared height. So dapat 'wag niyong kakalimutan yung mga formula sa plane and solid geometry niyo 'no. So applicable siya or kasama siya sa application ng differential calculus. Then again, since we have the volume equation, then we will differentiate it with respect to time. So ano ba yung mga dimension na nagbabago with respect to time? So you have your volume, so let's say dV over dt, then yung height mo magiging dH over dt. But yung radius will remain the same since hindi nga nagbabago yung radius mo with respect to time. Excuse me. Then we will substitute the values. So yung dV over dt mo equal to 10 cubic feet per minute. Then yung dH over dt mo equal sa 4 inches per minute. And again, so you have your 10 is equal to pi r squared times 4. But since unit analysis muna tayo bago tayo mag-evaluate. Since yung 10 mo naka-cubic feet per minute, then yung height mo uh, naka in terms of inches. So mas mabilis i-convert na natin yung inches into feet. So we have 1 foot per 12 inches. So using your favorite method, your sheep solve, no? So you will have the value of radius equal to 3.0902 feet. Okay? So this will be the last problem, no, for differential calculus. So problem number 7. So two posts, one 16 feet and the other 24 feet are 30 feet apart. If the posts are to be supported by a cable running from the top of the first post to a stake on the ground and then back to the top of the second post, find the distance from the lower post to the stake to use the least amount of cable. So, isa-isahin natin, no? At initially, wala itong figure, pero dapat matuto tayong gumawa ng figure based sa situation ng problem. So, check natin yung buong problem. So, kung mapapansin nyo, again, you have the superlative clue, no? Meron tayong i-optimize or i-maximize or i-minimize, no? Use the least amount. Okay? So, alam natin medyo may idea na tayo. Meron tayong i-first derivative. Mostly ganun, no? So, start tayo dito. Meron kang 2 post. So, ito yung maging figure mo. So, ito yon 16 feet and the other 24 feet. Then again, magkalayo sila ng 30 feet, no? So, ganito yan. Yan. So, we have 30 feet. Magkalayo sila ng 30 feet. If the posts are to be supported by a cable running from the top of the first post, ito yon, top ng first post, may cable daw dyan. So, running to a stake. Pag sinabing stake, siguro medyo naka-fix siya dito. Okay. On the ground, ito yung ground level mo. Okay. Okay. Sorry. And then back to the top of the second post. So, ito yung second post mo. So, may cable ka dyan from your stake hanggang second post. So, find the distance from the lower post to the stake. So, ito yung mas mababang post to the stake to use the least amount of cable. So, we will let x, no? Ito yun, distance from the lower post up to your state. So let's say let x, no? Then ang natira 30 minus x. So paano natin maso-solve yung value ng x, no? Using the condition of your problem. So sinabi kasi dito, least amount of cable. So ibig sabihin, i-optimize natin or magkakaroon tayo ng equation galing dun sa length ng cable mo. Eh ano ba yung length ng cable mo? So we have the L is equal to A plus B. Okay? And then since you have the right triangle to consider, makukuha mo yung values ng A and values ng B in terms of equation, no? Or with respect to x. So ito yung magiging solution natin. So we have A using the Pythagorean theorem, no? You have the x square plus 16 square, then take the square root. So we have x square plus 256, ito yun, 256. Then, i-convert ko lang yung radical into exponential form. So, x squared plus 256 all over quantity raised to 1/2. Then, same with letter B. Ito, yung length ng B na to. So, you have the square root of 30 minus x squared. Quantity 30 minus x raised to 2. Then, plus 24 squared. Then, simplifying, we have 900 minus 60x plus x squared. Ito yun. So, ito yung 900 minus 60x plus x squared. Then, yung 24 squared, ito naman yung 576. Then again, i-convert ko lang yung radical into exponential form. Then, simplifying lang, no, the equation of b, we have the x squared minus 16x plus 900 plus 506. So, we have 1,476. And quantity mo, then raised to 1/2. Then again, the total length of your cable is equal to A plus B. So, yung A mo, we have x squared plus 256 raised to 1/2 plus x squared, your letter B, x squared minus 60x plus 1,476. Then again, raised to 1/2. Then again, since meron kang superlative clue ka dito, kailangan nating i-differentiate yung length mo with respect to x. Then equate to 0. So, isa-isayin natin. So, yung letter A mo muna, using the power rule. So, ito, pupunta mo lang dyan sa tabi. So, we have 1/2. Then, retain the quantity, x squared plus 256. Then again, 1/2 minus 1. So, we have negative 1/2. Then, differentiate mo yung loob ng quantity. So, we have 2x, no? Yun. Then, yung 256 will be cancelled out. So, yun yung dA. Kumbaga, ito ay dA over dx. Ito naman, magiging dB over dx mo. Okay? So, ito yung term for B. So, we have again 1/2 power rule. Then, retain the quantity, x squared minus 60x plus 1,476. Then again, raised to 1/2 minus 1, we have negative 1/2. Times the first derivative of the quantity. So, we have negative 2x. Ito yun. Then, yung negative 60x mo, naging negative 60 na lang. Then, yung 1,476 mo will be cancelled out. Kasi, again, the derivative of a constant is equal to 0. Then, yung dl over dx mo equate to 0 to optimize the equation. So, again, i-shift solve nyo yan, yung mahabang equation na yan, makakakuha ka ng x is equal to 12 feet. Okay? So, yan yung calculus approach. So, actually, meron pa tayong alternative solution. kung maiisip natin, 'no? Ito lang, so not to scale lang yung figure, 'no? So we have this figure again. So eto yung original figure mo, your lower post 16, then higher post 24, then ito again, yung stake on the ground, then you have the distance x from lower post up to the stake, then yung natira 30 minus x. Then again, ito yung length A mo, then ito yung length B mo. So, okay? So, let's say itong higher post mo, punta natin dito. Same lang yun, 'no? At least, ano lang, maging creative lang sa solution. So, ito, again, yung higher post mo, punta mo dito. So, meron ka ng 24 feet na post dito. Then again, project mo lang ito. Then ito, itong 30 minus x, ilagay mo lang din dito. Okay? So, ito, project mo lang din yung A mo up to this one. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, let's say ito, you have your angle here. So, ang tanong, yung angle ba dito, equal ba dito? Yes, kasi yung opposite and adjacent ng angle dito is 24 and 30 minus x. Same lang din dito. So, yung angle, yung opposite at yung adjacent ng angle nito is the 24 and 30 minus x din. Okay? And then, next na question, yung angle ba dito equal naman dito? Yes, with respect to the horizontal line. Okay? So, okay na, equal na yung angles dito. Next question, yung angle ba dito is equal sa angle dito? Yes. So, using the concept of, kung di ako nagkakamali, vertical angles. Okay? So, ito, yung angle dito, equal din dito. Therefore, we can now conclude that the slope of A is equal to the slope of B. Kasi ito, B rin to. Okay, so same slope lang yan. Therefore, we can use the concept of similar triangles. So, let's say, ito yun, no? So, we have x over 16, so horizontal over vertical is equal to the horizontal over vertical din, no? So, x over 16 is equal to 30 minus x over 24. Then, shift solve nyo, you have 12 feet din. Okay. So, ano bang concept ng similar triangles, no? Let's say, ito, kunin mo yung tangent ng angle dito. So, you have the opposite 16 over x. And opposite ito naman yung adjacent. Ito naman, kunin mo rin yung tangent nito. So, we have 24 over 30 minus x. So, ibig sabihin yung tangent sa unang angle is also equal to tangent din ng angle. Therefore, makuha mo na yung equation. So, same lang din dito, no? Kung ginamit lang natin reference yung angle dito, kasi alpha, equal din naman yan dito since they have the same slope. So, tangent ng alpha, tangent ng alpha. So, opposite x, adjacent 16. At ganito rin, dito, same lang din dito. So, opposite, tangent of this alpha, opposite 30 minus x, then adjacent 24. Therefore, you have 12 feet. Okay? So, that concludes our lecture from plane trigonometry and differential calculus. So, I hope may natutunan kayo to prepare for your midterm quiz and midterm exam. Sobrang thank you, no, sa pakikinig and good luck.